Hello everyone, here's a piece you can learn at an intermediate level of study or in your early days of study, and you can learn it either by reading or by rote. It's called L'Arabesque by Burgmüller, and it goes like this. So what we'll do to learn this is break it down bit by bit. Okay, so let's start with the right hand. So the right hand, this is a piece that actually sounds harder than it really is, right? So we're going to find the hand grip for the right hand. So we want to find an A and an E. So you want to put your hand in a 5-finger position just like this and find those 5 notes. So you find the A is in the group of 3 and towards the last note, right next to the last note, and the E is next to the group of 2. So we're going to play our fingers just like this: 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, or A, B, C, B, A. Right? And we're going to look at that shape because we're going to choose 3 notes, and we're going to start right where we ended. So that's our first germ of or bit of our melody, right? And then we're going to play the 5 all the way up. So A, B, C, D, E. So the first part goes. Okay, so when you get that down, you can try to go fast and slowly. Right? So at first you practice it slowly, and then you do it fast. Right? So you don't want to have too much arm rotation, right? I see people trying to play like this with their arm moving, right? Your arm stays still. Your fingers are actually quite stiff, but your wrist is relaxed, right? Your fingers are playing with energy instead of saying stiff, right? So our next part is we're going to move this whole operation to D and play through all 5 of our fingers. So we're going to do the same position that we had on A. So we're going to line up, and we're actually going to play those. And then we're going to move to A, and we're going to play it on A. So D, so just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A. To find D, it's in the middle of the group of 2 black notes. And then all the notes in a row. So here's our melody. Right, so once you have that down, you're going to go to a C hand position, right? And you're going to line up your fingers like this. 3rd finger's on E, but you're going to move. You're going to go 3 on E, 2, 3 on F, 1 on D. Did you see what I did? 3, 2, 3, 1. And then, so did you notice it's staccato? And then a phrase, staccato. Okay, so now So notice we ended up in our C position, right? So let's talk about these notes. So it's E, E, F, D, 2 on D, and then 5 on G, 2 on D, 3, 1. So here's our 5-finger C position where we end up in, right? We start here and we end here. We move here, and then we move right back. All right, so we have an accent on the D and we have a sforzato on the E. So what's the difference between the accent and the sforzato? Well, some people would say it's nothing, but I like to make a difference. I make the accent a little more percussive, and I make the sforzato expressive, right? So if I think a lot of feeling on the E, I get a sforzato. So watch. Accent, accent, sforzato. And if I add the bottom E, very, very a lot of feeling on that note and long. Okay, so now let's play our melody through that far. Okay, so remember, you're starting on A and then you're playing a circle back to A. And then A, 5 fingers, D, 5 fingers, A, 5 fingers. Get into the C hand position, move immediately, and then back. And then that repeats. Now, second ending, instead of having the sforzato on the E, it does this top C. Okay, so now left hand is an A minor chord, a D minor chord, a C chord, and a G7 chord, and a C chord. So let's find all of these chords before we repeat them. If you notice, they're repeated, right? So let's find all the chords. So an A minor chord is an A, a C, and an E. Right? So if you can find middle C, group of 2, C and E, and then add the third below A. There's your first chord. Your second chord is a D minor chord. So this would be a D minor chord in root position, but they get the A and we put it here. So we're inverting to get to the D minor chord. So it's an A, it's a D, and it's an F. Notice that I use 1, 2, and 5. I use 1, 3, and 5. 1, 2, and 5. Then I have a G7 chord, but we're missing the 5th. But this still sounds like a G7 chord. So you hear that? So it's a root, it's a third, it's a 5th, and a 7th, and we leave the 5th out. I use 5, 3, and 1. And then, so how does that left hand go when you repeat? Well, it goes like this. A minor, D minor, A minor, C, G, C, sforzato, E. So we can do it slower. D minor, A minor, C, G7, C, and there's our sforzato E. How does this go together? Well, let's do it one little bit at a time. So you have the introduction, which is just 4 chords. Introduction, 4 A minor chords. Okay, so now the tune starts. Remember the circle A? So you have to play 4 of these notes for 1 chord. So if you can practice that. And then the next part. You're going to practice 1 measure at a time. Next part. So that's our D1, and then our A1. So did you notice the chord changes to D minor when you get to the D1, and then it goes back to A minor when you get to the A1. Let's do that again. The circle one, A minor, So now still A minor, then D minor, and then A minor, and then C major, so this is the toughest coordination measure, right? So you can practice just doing that. C, third finger, second finger, G7. And once you can do that, so now you want to do the next bit, right? So 5, 2, 3, 1. So it's very important to practice all of these bits instead of if you make a mistake going back to the beginning, right? And also the being able to start in the middle is the sign of a very high level musician. If you really know this, you can start anywhere in this piece, okay? And if you have the patience, you're still here, you're still watching at this point, you're doing great. Okay, so this second part, starting on the C major chord, where you start in the C position, but then you immediately move out of it. So notice that the notes are playing in between, right? So C, E, E, F, D, D, G, D, E, C, sforzato. So now you can do the whole part, right? You can do 2 measures at a time, right? So just practice that part. Right, then the next part, D minor, A minor. So you can do those again. And then you can put all this together. Then you can also practice the second ending, which goes like this. Okay, so now that you have that part, you can pause the video. Once you have that first section done, we'll do the second section. So here's the second section. Remember the circle? Well, the left hand's going to take the circle and move everything down one note and start with a G sharp. Did you see that? Instead of this, it's here. So you put your third finger on G sharp, your second finger on A, and your first finger on B. And then, starting on A, you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, and you're going to play it twice. Okay? So you practice that, each one. And then this one. Right? And here's the other thing is you have to learn how to move fast but not play, right? So when I play this one, I'm already here on the next one and ready to go, and then I'm back here. And then I'm ready again. Right? Hardest thing to do. So when you play fast, you're moving fast, but you're actually moving faster than you're playing. So watch. If I play it up to tempo, did you see? I'm moving really fast and across. Okay, so now our next part, remember the circle on G sharp? You're going to move it to C sharp now. So there's your circle. C sharp, D, and E. And then remember your 5-finger position, it's going to be on D. Right? So the second part. So here we go. The whole second part up to that point. Circle on G sharp, 5 fingers on A. Circle on G sharp, 5 fingers on A. Circle on C sharp, 5 fingers on D. Okay, so then we have this next section. So you have to play G, F, E, D, D sharp, E, D, C, B. Okay, so how do we sort this out? Well, we're going to cross over here. So G is going to be 2, and then F is going to be 1. Now these are all going to be steps, right? So here's the steps. G, F, E, D, D sharp, E, D, C, B. And then we're kind of back to the third section where it starts a lot like the beginning, okay? So let's play this whole left hand. So circle on G sharp, A, 5 fingers, circle on G sharp, A, 5 fingers, circle on C sharp, 5 fingers on D, right? So now our second finger is ready on G, G, cross under, thumb, D sharp, E, D, C, B. Okay, right hand second section. We're going to start with our 5-finger hand position on A minor, putting our thumb on A. So we're going to start with E, B, C, A, E, B, C. So did you see that? We're all covered in this 5-finger hand position. Again, pinky, 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3. So there's a kinesthetic way of doing it too, by just feeling what finger plays here. Notice the rhythm too. I'm subdividing la 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 la, so I get the division of where the notes go. Okay, so next part's an octave. A, A. Right? So if we start in the 5-finger hand position, we are now going to move. And then we're going to be in our D minor hand position. So 2, 3, 2, 1. And we can cover all the way there in this hand position. So this is another secret of playing, is trying to find the fewest amounts of shift, but having to shift when necessary. By shifting, I mean shifting hand position, right? So let's begin this again. We're in the A minor. 5, 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, and then 1, 5, and then D minor. 2, 1. Okay, so now when we get here, here's where our shift happens. So we're going to shift back to A minor. So we're only in 2 hand positions. So when we play the octave, we go 2, 1, and then 3, and immediately shift. So this G sharp is a pivot note. We're really in this hand position, and then we only need to use our index finger to pivot. Right? So once we get here, G sharp, E. So let's do the whole second section, right hand. So A minor hand position, E, B, C, A, E, B, C, A, D minor hand position, E, F, E, D, 2, 1, and then 3, 2, 1, 2, 5. Okay, so together slowly. Here we go. Remember, we're starting right hand on the A minor position. The left hand is going to play a circle on G sharp. Right? So you can practice just that much. Right? So when you have that down, do the next one. Okay, now you can just follow my fingers on the video, right? So we've already been over the notes. Next part. So it's exactly the same. So now can you repeat it? And for now, I just took all the feeling out. We're just playing the notes very calmly so that we can get our fingers to do the right notes. Okay, so now our next part. So you're going to have a circle on C sharp, and you're going to play the octave. So can you just play that? And how important is it to not play wrong notes? Just get your hands over the notes and play that little bit. So this is the 5 fingers on D, right? So okay, now this next part. This is probably the hardest little bit you have to play in the whole piece. So what's going to happen here is your 2s and your 1s are going to be crossed, right? Or not. No, they're actually playing the same, but the left hand has to cross over. So it's 2-1, right? So you can just play that part. And then what happens? It's 3 and 2, right? Right? So 3 and 2 play in opposite, but in the order of your hand. Right? So we're just putting this together very patiently. So here's our 2-1, and then 3, 2, and 2 and 3, and then what happens? 2 and 1. So 2 and 1 play opposite there, right? So let's do that whole little bit. So 2 and 1. And then our second measure, right? So we're going to practice just that first measure. When you have that first measure down, you can practice the second measure. And I would end on the next downbeat. So this is how you practice this measure. Now you can put everything together, starting with 2 and 1. 3 and 2. Okay, well, you already know the next part, because it's just like the beginning. Except for now, this part is different. You have this chord. So it's an A suspended chord, and it's going to resolve here. So you're going to have the same pattern that you had here. Remember when you did this? Right? But now you're going to do it here. You're going to do it on B and C. Okay, so how does that go together? I did this kind of fast, but you already know this pattern, right? If you already know the 3, 2, 3, 1, 5, so what's going to happen is you're going to end up in an A minor hand position, and this left hand's just going to do this. Okay, and then you would repeat this. This goes back. I did it very slowly so you could follow. And then the suspended. Then second ending. So let's just do that little bit, which is after the second ending, which is called the coda, right? So you have a circle on A, 5 fingers on D, circle on A, 5 fingers on D, and then 5 fingers backwards on A, and the left hand joins you there, and then C and A, because this is going to be an A minor chord, and you're going to have A and E. Left hand is going to be A minor, D minor, A minor, D minor, 5 fingers on A, going backwards, and then A. So let's play that coda. circle on A minor chord, D minor chord, 5 fingers, circle on A, 5 fingers, D minor, hands together, and then an A minor chord, A and E, C and A. Okay, so now you've gone through the whole piece, right? So what you do is when you're linking sections now, you want to try for dynamics, right? So the beginning is piano, and it says leggero, means lightly, and then there's a crescendo in the third measure, which means start softly and get louder, right? So let's go over those dynamics. So softly, lightly, crescendo, sforzato, repeats, leggero, crescendo, second ending octave, forte now, loud, and crescendo. Poco retard, so relax, piano. Suspended, first ending, repeat, forte, retard, piano, crescendo, dolce, sweetly, coda, and the ending is quite loud. You also have a fermato, so you can hold this chord. Okay, so notice that in the second ending of this, it cuts the melody short, right? So you're expecting resolution, but this, when you go to the second ending, all of a sudden it starts again early, and that creates a surprise for the audience, right? So you want the audience to be surprised, but you don't want to be surprised by that. You want to know that that's coming as the performer. Okay, well, I hope that helps you. I hope you have fun practicing, and I wish you a great day, and thank you for watching.